continent or the country in which you are. So these are some basic things. But why do I encourage couples to go to Austria? First of all, Austria, the tuition fee is very cheap and affordable. You just need around 800 euros every semester to study, not like the pounds, 10,000, 11,000 pounds in the United Kingdom. So welcome back to our channel, and thank you so much for joining the channel today. If you are new here, please do not forget to subscribe below. Please subscribe below and turn on the notification bell so that when I post the next video, you would be the first to watch. If you are new, my name is Milton. Please welcome to our platform. For our old subscribers, you are the real MVP. So today's video, I want to talk about countries that you can immigrate to with your family, countries that you can move to with your wife, your husband, or children, because a lot of people do not know. And I will also be talking about some little things you need to know, or some details you need to know in case you are actually planning to move with your family. But I always encourage people that moving with family at the first time, like going with family at the first time in Europe or abroad, is not usually the best option, because sometimes moving with children, looking for accommodation and a whole lot of things is usually very stressful. But again, I understand that a lot of people do not know they cannot cope without their families beside them. So if you want to move abroad this 2024, this is the time to do your work. Like, this is January. If you delay a little longer, it's going to be very disastrous. You may not move this year, because one thing I want to draw your attention to is that these admissions are very competitive. These stories are very competitive. Now, for those asking me if what is the possibilities of getting a work visa or student visa, like I have always said, the student visa is the easiest way. And when you get the student visa, the dependents, the other dependents, your wife, your children, or husband and children, can now come under you. You understand? But if you want to go through a work visa, you need to get a work contract. I do not know how the so-called agents they do it, but understand that to apply for a working visa, you need a work contract. I will keep emphasizing on this. Now, there are a list of countries here. I have about 7 countries that you can immigrate with your family, and I'm going to be telling you how the admissions is, how much you need, the requirements you need in case you want to move with family. Let's begin with the first one. Before I start with the first one, please, have you subscribed? Please subscribe and share this video. Thank you. We are going to start with Austria. Now, I was talking with someone on Facebook, like it was a post I did, and I said you can move with your family to Austria, and someone was arguing, and it didn't take long. The Austrian government has even increased the proof of funds, and they happen to also bring a section there which says that couples can now move. If you are a couple, what does that mean? Is that not a family? Well, let's keep moving. Now, in Austria, if you want to move, let me emphasize on proof of funds. You can move with your family, and the proof of funds is distributed in 4 different categories. The first category are those that are moving to Austria who are still below 24 years old. Like, if you are below 24 years, you need around 7,500 euros to be in your bank account. Remember, if you have a sponsor, this sponsor needs to bring supporting documents to show how he got the money or how she got the money. This is how Austria operates. Okay, then the second category are those that are above 24 years old. Now, if you are above 24 years old, you have to have at least 13,000 plus. There is a video I already did about this on the channel on proof of funds to study in Austria. Please make sure you reference back, or you go back and watch that video, so you actually understand what you need in 2024. There is an increase, there is an updated video, because the Austrian government updated the proof of funds, or let me say change the proof of funds, so I had to update the video. So check the latest video on proof of funds on my YouTube channel. Then couples, you also have an amount you need. I think for couples is around 21,000 euros. Then if you are moving with children, one child has its own amount, another child has its own amount. Then you sum all those figures and add to your own money. If you are moving with a couple and one child, you sum that of the child and add to. So this is how you need to go about the proof of funds to study in Austria. Now, another very important thing you should pay attention to is the documentation. You cannot apply to Austria without legalizing your documents. Though I'm not saying that you cannot apply. There are some schools that may give you the privilege to start your application before you submit legalized documents. So what you basically need to do is to carry the documents to the Ministry of Education, Foreign Affairs, then to the VFS Global or the Austrian Embassy, depending on the continent or the country in which you are. So these are some basic things. But why do I encourage couples to go to Austria? First of all, Austria, the tuition fee is very cheap and affordable. You just need around 800 euros every semester to study, not like the pounds, 10,000, 11,000 pounds in the United Kingdom. So this is the reason why I can encourage you as a family to move to Austria. Of course, you have to understand that English is not their first language. Therefore, you are going to struggle a little. But again, it is very important for you to learn a new language when you go into any country. But if you can afford Austria, I personally recommend 100%. The next country I want to talk about is Portugal. And Portugal, I will just give you some brief info. Portugal also needs legalization for you to actually apply for schools in there as an international student. Also understand that if you buy a property in Portugal, you are just shifting yourself towards permanent residency and of course citizenship later on. And again, it's not that easy to study in Portugal. Very easy, let me put it this way. Not like it's not that easy. The thing is, only the legalization may be a problem because most schools will need to see your documents before they can give you an admissions. I hope you understand. So please put all of this into consideration. Remember, Portugal, you can pay in installments, like even 5 or 6 installments per year. So that is the advantage with Portugal. Do I recommend Portugal with families? Yes, 100% if you have the money. Now the next country is Sweden, and as a matter of fact, it looks like Sweden is already closed for the next semester, so you cannot apply as I speak to you right now. I think the admissions date is already closed. So Sweden is a country in Europe, a Scandinavian country, and a very strong country with a strong economy as well. But again, you need money. Remember, you need money to be in your own personal bank account before you can immigrate to Sweden. Do not say Milton never told you. And remember, for most Cameroonians, the Swedish embassy is not in Cameroon, guys. So you either apply and go to Nigeria, and a lot of people were complaining you cannot be sponsored by a company. You must have the money in your bank account to study in Sweden. This is something a lot of people do not know. But again, that is what it is. Remember, when you are applying, you are using the central platform, admissions.se, universityadmission.se. Then their immigration website is migration.sek. All right, so you have to take a look at all of these, and remember, you need at least 7 million CFA francs as a Cameroonian now after your tuition have been paid. Remember, for Portugal, Austria, and Sweden, you have to pay tuition before this money in your bank account. Please put all of this into consideration. Remember, the proof of funds for Sweden has just been updated. This is something that has not been for almost 2 weeks or 3 weeks now, but it's 7 million plus. There is a video I did about that. I'm still going to make more videos, all right, then talk about some schools in Sweden like the University of Umeå, the University of Helsingborg, and a lot of other universities. Right now we move to the next country. This is another country, and we are talking about Finland. You can move to Finland with your family, and Finland is currently accepting application as I speak. Well, some people say universities like Abo University and a whole lot of others are not asking for IELTS, but remember, during the application stage, I said there is a communique that was passed by the Finnish officials and said IELTS is very important. So if you are going to apply for your visa, even if you get the admissions without showing your IELTS, when you go for visa application, make sure you have your IELTS. Don't go and make your visa to be rejected and you said Milton never told you. Ignorance before the law is never an excuse. So please get your IELTS ready before you go and apply, even if you get admissions before you go for visa. This is the advice I will give to you. You may still decide and not do the IELTS. Keep the money and do whatever. But again, I'm just here as a messenger to pass the information. So Finland will need 6,720 euros for you alone to be in your bank account. For couples, they have their own amount, and there is a video on the channel already explaining that. Remember, you need to certify your marriage certificate at the level of the Finnish embassy if you are going as a couple. And if you are moving with children as well, there is a fee for everybody. Remember, as a couple in Finland, you are going to work full-time, or let me say as a dependent, you work full-time. Then the principal applicant will work 30 hours a week. This is something that was passed, this law was passed last year. And the children also have other amenities to enjoy, like free medical care and a whole lot of others. But if you are going to Finland as you want to seek asylum, please, you have to be careful. There is a limitation now for asylum seekers in Finland. So this is what you need to know. Let's take a look at the next country, which is Canada. Canada, I always recommend Canada. Do I recommend Finland as a couple? If you can afford, go to Finland. Now, for Canada, I will still recommend with my full chest, if you have the money, move to Canada as a couple. This is the reason. You can get PR very easily, and you can get citizenship very easily. There is no negotiation about this. There is no argument about this. Canada is a perfect place for you to gain, and your children will equally benefit from free education and some other amenities. And as a PR holder in Canada, if you move to Canada as a PR, or as somebody who is going for permanent residency, remember, you pay your tuition as Canadian citizens, and the only difference between the two of you now is the passport, which you don't have, which you would eventually get within 3 years after becoming a permanent resident. So you see, Canada has a lot of advantages, but hey, understand that the admissions is not that complicated, but the tuition fee is so high up there, because even the visa process is going to be very difficult, because a lot of things have been changed. Even living cost money was increased to 20,635 from the initial 10,000. So you see, every country has its own procedures and its own things you need to put into consideration. Like I said, I recommend Canada with my full chest, 100%. Now for Denmark, you can equally move to Denmark with your family if you are going for master's degree upwards. I hope you understand. Remember, Denmark is also looking for a lot of skilled immigrants, and after you graduate from Denmark as an international student, you are going to get 3 years of postgraduate work permit, which would eventually lead you to other things like the permanent residency and the citizenship. There is a lot to do in Denmark. Denmark is a country I can highly recommend for you. Of course, if you are going to Denmark as a nurse, a medical practitioner, trust me, these fields pay very well in Denmark. So please take a look at them or at all these countries and see. But remember, tuition fee is not that easy. Around 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, you can study. But also understand that when you gain admissions, you have to pay this money, the tuition fee in full, before you can actually apply for your visa, right? Check everything about the embassy. Check everything on how the procedure works. You might probably end up showing a blocked account. So I'm not saying that it is confirmed, but this is what I truly recommend. If there is a possibility, show them the money. So you put the money in an account, then they just deduct their tuition fee and leave the rest there for you. When you arrive Denmark, they will give you the money as soon as you create your account. So this is how these procedures work. The next country is Slovakia. For you in Africa, West Africa to be precise, you have to go to Kenya to get a visa, a national visa D-type from Kenya to Slovakia, because it's only in Slovakia. But remember, you have to legalize your documents in Nigeria before you go to Slovakia. If you are Nigerian, please put this into consideration. Do I recommend Slovakia for couples? I cannot really say you should move to Slovakia at the initial stage with your family. But if you have the money and the resources, you think it is a good decision. If your family is not going to complain that much, why not? You can reconsider, but also understand that it is not going to be easy. Appointments nowadays are becoming so tedious to get. So I will advise you that if you really want to move abroad, choose many countries. That is the first thing. Then after that, you apply for many schools. This is going to increase your chances of getting admissions and subsequently getting the visa. I hope this video will help you. We are going to talk about a lot of other things very soon. And I remain your favorite village boy, Milton